What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hopefully, you're good and welcome to the channel, Masculine Pose. Okay, so let's get real about it. When we look at skill sets or trades or what's needed in society, I can tell you that most people know that electricians are useful, and I'm glad I know one. Plumbers are useful, okay? Carpenters, builders, all these things. The good thing about these trades is that a man can enter them early, he can get into a job, and then he can make a business out of it. So you can transition from just being an employee to a business owner. And I know some electricians that do quite well, even truck drivers, even machine operators. Okay. Now I said I'm going to be using examples because I'm currently in Australia, so I'm using those examples. Those people that work in those trades, they make money because what? The trades are in demand. They're in a trade that's in demand. So now, young boys ought to be encouraged to get into those fields. And if you're a man that's looking for a career, I know that, especially in light of the passport bros, most people prefer something digital, a digital, career type of thing, so you can work anywhere. But for those of us that can't, these are useful traits for a man to live an honest life and make a living off. Now, this is where it's important for you to retain your self esteem and work in this trade. You're going to get rewarded handsomely, monetarily. But if you start to listen to what you should become in the eyes of a woman, is that they will like all these traits that I mentioned, they will not think of them as a great. Most of them don't want to have somebody by their side who is a man who works as a blue collar job. But yet, these are the traits that run the lifeblood of any country. You got plumbers. You need a plumber or electrician or refrigerator mechanic. All these skill sets. When you men become these things, when boys, because this message can be both. You can have a career change. I used to have a friend. He was working in security and then decided to become a mechanic. He was 50. He recognized, also, he became a plumber. He recognized his money in plumbing because there was money in plumbing and the demand was so high. When he became a plumber, trust me, he was forever busy. And this is not one of those fictitious stories where you're like, oh, I used to know. I knew him personally. So the point is that for the most part, most people who work in this field are paid well. Now, the funny thing is, our people look down on those women, on those people, on those men, and on those careers. Yet, if something goes wrong, you are very likely to have one of these people come to your aid, not for free, of course, come to help you out. So if you have a whole group of women who are saying, "Oh, if a man's making $1,000 a week, that's broke. Oh, that's broke. He ain't making no money. He ain't got no money. And meanwhile, these people are doing something that is not a respectable craft, like maybe OnlyFans or something that's not sustainable, something that COVID taught us something. There was essential workers and non-essential. Some people could be shut down because your work is not that important. These men who are working these areas, and boys, y'all can aspire to be in this area, engineers, mechanics, and so forth. You are important. So your pay is going to go places and you can change it from employee to business owner if that's your wish. But even at the employment level, I even know a welder who's traveling the world just welding, traveling the world welding. So that's why I love my brothers that do such things because I know they're useful to me. I'm useful to them because I do things, but they're also useful to me because if I'm doing farm projects, I don't want somebody who's got a cool podcast. Cool, no offense, but I want somebody who's good with their hands. So these skill sets are what society needs. So therefore, people will give you money for it. But when you get a whole group of women hating on that, don't let as a man, don't let that determine you as to where you go. Aspiring to be a rapper, aspiring to be an NBA player. Those things, only a small percentage of people succeed in those things. You know, and the careers don't really go as long as these things. It's crafts you can have an old man still working. So when you have a whole group of women hating on this man, and then the whole group of women who from other nationalities that recognize that this is a useful man. It's a losing game. That black woman that goes out that goes against the man and says, "Oh, he's a blue collar man." These are useful skills. He's always going to be in demand, and he's going to keep making way past your prime, way past the point where you need to when you feel the need to ease off. He can still work because he's mastered that. That's why I think it's sad. I generally think it's very sad to think that all these men that build society, they're welders, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters. You know, it's this is the quintessential of society. When you have, if these men stop working, you're gonna see a difference in an instant. And these are the men that these are the. And it's funny because being married to one of these was respectable, you know. And these are the men that people are rejecting in favor of what the futures, like you know what I mean? Like not everybody's gonna marry a football player, yeah. So men, don't discount yourself if you're going for these fields. Go in there because you're always gonna be in demand. You are always going to be in demand if you are a plumber, if you're an electrician. And I'm saying this on purpose because I've seen this. I have friends of mine or people that I know in this field because I'm a handy person. Even a handyman is in need because all these apartment buildings, all these boss chicks who don't know how to fix a door, they need somebody. Okay, so don't shy from them things because they're being called broke and dusty if you do this. That's just an illusion. That's a life on the internet. Because in reality, in actuality, doing these things will make you really a real man because you'll be dealing with people on your level who are building and doing things. Okay? Plumbers, electricians, welders, boilermakers, all these things, you know. And then guess what? If you take your paycheck to another type of group of people, I'm not encouraging, but this is the truth. They're not going to look down on you. They're going to respect you. And we all want respect. So I feel it's a shame that black women see these trades as less than. But this channel is a channel for men. Become these things and become useful to society. And society will reward the person that's doing these things because it can't help but, and you can do this from a business standpoint and employ others and be of good value and have a good name rather than he being in jail and all these things. Not knocking brothers have been in jail, but just these things you can become. You don't need to aspire to be in the spotlight or an entertainer. Just become these things. Society will reward you. That's an honest living, and ignore the shouts, the loud mouths, knocking down people that do such things because you're gonna be useful. And besides, if that money is on you as a single man, you can work for lots of places. You can travel if you want to, because you can still travel. So you're not making that money so you can prove to that woman who's saying you're dusty to prove that you're not. You're doing this for yourself. Okay. Peace, love, and blessings.